This is my first reflection, talking about weeks 1 to 3, which I found useful, like opening up some main concepts and foundations for online teaching online. So the first one talked about peer grading and ageism, which I thought were very different issues, which they are. So I guess it was just talking about some topics, and I engaged in them in a way that I already knew about peer grading and ageism in my own experience, and I wasn't really applying it that well to online teaching. But now, looking back at the forum, I think I could say some other things, like how ageism affects ageism, particularly like with stereotypes about old people using technology, and how that would impact who you're teaching, and maybe some othering of old people in the online classrooms. The social learning theories week as well, in week 3, that was kind of familiar. I'd written a paper on social learning theories, so I was just thinking about it mainly in my own experience and my arguments in that, in terms of like social constructionism and activism, and how that's like, I prefer that kind of thing. But I've also find behaviorist methods quite useful, like for language learning and stuff like that. So I kind of was talking about my own experience in the comments and my posts, rather than how it really affected online teaching. So maybe I was a bit off topic there. For the second week, the trends. So I wasn't really I've never heard of seamless and ubiquitous learning before, so that was new. And I found like the language really unengaging, because it was like just some long words which I thought were not useful, and I couldn't understand the difference. I thought I had to understand the difference, so it was really difficult for me to get that, and I kept like Googling and looking for videos for a difference between them, and I guess I didn't need to find a difference between them, and they're used like quite interchangeably in many contexts. And I felt like, and I watched that video on the Big Bang Theory, and that was kind of useful-ish. But then I was thinking, like, some of the things I was reading was saying that ubiquitous learning would hope to have to make a seamless learning where informal learning and formal learning kind of come together in the same. You're like learning in all ways all the time, which sounds like a great ideal. But then if informal is like unintentional and unconscious, incidental kind of learning, I would think that would be difficult to put in practice and difficult to evaluate as well. And in the Big Bang Theory video, it was like definitely not something that Sheldon was like unaware of, or not Sheldon, I don't remember the names, but the character was unaware of. So yeah, I thought that was kind of a confusing one. But I posted on the modular thing, which I found easier to understand. But again, I wasn't really applying it to online teaching. I was mainly talking about my own experience of modular learning. So yeah, maybe I wasn't like online teaching enough for this one. I mainly focused on like text-based posts, because it was just what I was used to, and I'm not used to online stuff, so I was a bit intimidated by that, especially in like week 3 when my peers started putting on really cool things. But I actually really don't like writing either. I find it really hard to put my ideas across cohesively, so and coherently. So I didn't really like the post that I made. I wasn't really happy with my contributions for the first few weeks, but I'm quite inspired to try some online stuff for the next few weeks. Yep. So that's my reflection for week 1. Bye.